It's the Doscinco Project.
Money pouring in, clientele growing down.
With your host, Doscinco.
Let's go!
What's up, everybody? You are now tuned into the Doscinco Project, where we talk about business, entertainment, motivation, and mindset. I got my guy. You understand me? I got my guy named Mahdi Alston. And I asked him for his entertainment name last night, right? And he said, brother, I ain't got one. My name is the entertainment name.
My name is my name.
Your name is your name, man. I can't do that, man. My name's Daryl. I ain't gonna say the last name, but it got too many syllables. It ain't gonna work out. But the reason why I wanted you on the podcast, number one, your personality is so dope, man. We had a lot of fun times together. We had a lot of fun times together.
I appreciate that.
But also, you've been doing a lot of big things.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? You've been doing a lot of big things, brother. I see you on Instagram.
I've been surviving.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you've been surviving.
I've been maintaining. That's
okay?
it.
But what I want us to do is, and this is going to be conversational.
Okay.
Let's talk about where we grew up, because I think it's very important.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people see us for who we are now, and they think that, oh, they professionally successful, or they doing whatever they doing. You got real estate and you making things happen.
Yeah.
But they assume that that's always been the case.
Yeah.
So let's go back. So where did you grow up? Connecticut?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me just say, man, I'm honored to be here, brother.
Oh, man.
I think the Doscinco Project is fire. I think, we kind of came into this thing together as far as, career starting and everything. And just to see your growth and your trajectory, brother, it's
man.
like,
Listen,
you're
brother.
kicking ass, man. You kick it like I'm
brother.
I'm one of your biggest cheerleaders, brother. I love what you're doing. I love how your I mean, we know each other personally, so your personal life is going crazy too.
Thank you, man.
We got a little Daryl in the building.
Hey, man, cameraman right there to the left.
We got the executive producer here. So yeah, man. Hartford, Connecticut, born and raised. Single parent home.
Okay.
And then my mother remarried out of stepfather, and he was more. He was good. He implemented principle, but he was more street.
Okay.
So that helped me transition into principles in the street and stuff like that. Hartford, Connecticut. For those who don't know, it's in between Boston and New York, Connecticut. So it's New England up north. Anybody from Hartford, they proud where they from. Yep. Kind of like people from Philly. So that's why I think I love the culture here in Philly so much. But yeah, man, from the bottom, like.
Was it like, like obviously, you didn't really have your biological father in your life, right? So obviously your mom was like a big pillar in your life. Did that really affect you as far as what you were missing? Like as far as a father's concerned, like a biological father?
Absolutely. I think, like I said earlier with Lil Daryl, like, I was having this conversation with my man the other day. We was talking about how like our father's generation, that a lot of fathers had that. They didn't know how to really be loved by their father. So in my circumstance, I don't think my father ever really. My father has 5 sons, including me.
Right.
He has no relationship with none of them. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't think he ever really, not making an excuse, because
of course. But he seemed, but personality-wise, he probably thinks that that's okay.
Yeah, because he probably don't know no better.
Right.
But the value of a dad, I think, is important. I probably would have been more confident when I was younger. I probably would have felt more reassured of myself.
Right.
And that's pretty sure 100% why I'm 100 with my children, my son and my daughter, because I see the value of me being there for whatever. I mean, you know that.
You didn't continue. You didn't continue the cycle. And I love that, because your kids, man, you got them on social. I saw you went to the restaurant when your daughter was, I think she was waitress today. You gave her that good tip. And then your son, he's doing football and everything, but it seems like they doing great as kids, man. They growing up, and they're growing up pretty good.
Yeah, and I think at this point, and I'm sure you're starting to feel this too, you see when your kids start asking for your advice and it's genuine, or they just want to hang out with you, right? Just want to be around you. You know what I'm saying? It shows it's more impact. I mean, it's priceless, obviously.
It is, yep.
But it's more impact in you being able to say, I'm invested in my child, I've impacted their lives. And like I told my son and my daughter, I just want y'all to win. Just you owe me nothing. You know what I'm saying? And my son playing football, my daughter, she's a sophomore right now. And she just wanted a job. She didn't have to get a job. She just wanted a job. And then once she got that feeling of her own money and buying what she want, I mean, Amazon is her, like every kid, I'm sure, and all this other stuff they get off the internet. But
well, that's the new Toys R Us,
man.
We had Toys R Us, man. They got the internet, man. It's whack. It's whack nowadays.
They didn't really leave the house.
Okay, I got excited when they opened up Toys R Us at the American Dream Mall not too long ago. I wanted to go travel 2 hours just to go see it.
Just to check it out.
Kids went over there. They totally discredit the entire situation. Man. They said it's like 5 and below. And I said, don't do that. Man. I said, don't disrespect the giraffe like that, man.
Come on, dude. Man. You can't do that. Dude.
They don't realize that's what it was all about. But I love it, man. I love what you're doing with your kids. And most importantly, I love what you become. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, like we came into this profession together, right? And we were both, you know, young and we were striving. We were trying to do our thing. We encountered a lot of things. We had an interesting supervisor. You hear me? An interesting supervisor.
We had an interesting job.
We had an interesting job, right?
Shit.
And the thing is, but let's go back to the childhood real quick, right? If you can, how can I say this? Describe early in your life when you either met a situation where it was either death or jail. Did you ever encounter a situation growing up in your environment? Name that, and then I'm gonna speak on a situation.
I would just say, I mean, I don't want to incriminate myself.
No, don't incriminate.
But I would just say this. Situation that really sticks out is, you know, everybody got a crew, right? Like there's this age between like maybe 13 to 16, maybe 12. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Now it's probably earlier than that with these kids, but you know, in my neighborhood around 13, 16, you start getting into shit.
Right.
For me, my mother, who, you know, rest in peace, she was definitely my compass in my life. Okay. But she had sent me away because my guys, so I'm still closer to this day, my best friends. Right. You know, they all went to prison. Okay. And they'll talk about it. And you met my guys.
Yeah, I did. It was like both Goliaths. I remember that.
So those guys,
we had a good time. We had a good time that day.
These are the closest guys to me in the world. And, you know, we did a lot of stuff. And my mother started seeing the direction I was going in.
Got you.
And, you know, just taking the state exam that we had to take, I did well on the test. It was other schools, private schools, this and that. My mother was looking like, I need you to like not be stuck in this situation, so to speak, not stay here in the neighborhood.
She protected you.
And so she sent me away, and I was hurt, cried, couldn't believe it. But my guys, everybody that was part of my crew, they all went to jail at some point in time.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Before the age of 20.
Okay.
So I would say just my mother taking the initiative for her own, being selfless, to send me away, show, because even my guys, they're like, man, that's the best thing she ever. My guys who went to jail and got through everything, and they're doing great for themselves now. But, you know, they had to take a different route, and they like, that's the best thing your mother ever did for you, was get you out of the hood. So.
And the fact that she acknowledged it. Yeah. There's a lot of women, there's a lot of parents that may acknowledge it but don't do anything about it. Be like, all right, well, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, or they don't want their baby to leave them and all this other. No, you gotta protect your young men.
You have to. I mean, I'm very fortunate. So I was raised in what they call the Badlands, right? So
that was over Fifth. Is that Fifth?
That's around. So I was born on Ella in Ontario between Tioga and Tioga and Ontario, but around there it was just. It's real known for the drug trade, right? So I'm glad I never encountered that, the whole drug, right? I wasn't into that, right? And the reason why I think is because I had uncles that got strung out on heroin, and I actually seen that, right? Yeah. There was one situation, my mom told me, it was crazy. So one of my uncles was dying from AIDS. He was 80 pounds. My grandmother was on welfare at the time. And she was like trying to like manage her money to try to buy all these pills to try to, you know, because AIDS back in the 80s, it was, people weren't educated. So that stuff was happening. You ain't know nothing. Yeah. So one of the siblings came into the room, and I guess that person was also like they was real aggressive in the streets, and took all the pills and basically said, you don't need this, and he threw it in the trash. I mean, he flushed it down the toilet or what have you, and took a heroin a needle, stuck it in his arm and said, this is what he needs. So I heard these stories, right? So I heard that. I also was in my grandmother's house one time, and I was like probably 5'4". I still remember this to this day. Opened up one of the doors, and it was like all these little capsules, right? It was putting cocaine or whatever in there, and it was telling me it was rat poison, man. So I was around all this entire time. The good thing is, and then the thing is, you see all these people strung out all around you, but, you know, on top of that, I seen cousins like go in and out of jail, and also some of them passed away. Like, I had a cousin that was like my age, 15 years old, passed away. A bunch of gunshots. She was out, wrong place, wrong time. They targeted one person. She got caught, died. I went into the hospital. She was all, she was all like inflated and all that stuff. So it was crazy. And then like once I hit, but I was always a good kid. I was always a good kid despite all of that. It was one time when my father and his brothers got into a situation in the streets, you know. Yeah. I mean, you laughing because I'm always a comedian with you. I'm always a comedian with you, right? He's like, I ain't never hear none of this, right? But I was probably like 8 years old, probably a little younger than him, and I'm like running after whoever is like trying to shoot at my pop, but my pop like running straight at the boy. My father was like a nut back in the day. So anyway, seen all of that, right? And then on top of that, in high school, all right, listen, I'm deviating from the entire situation. But
let me ask you this.
Yeah,
so because I know you from
the Boy Scout days.
And you used to show me, like, was it K-Don?
K-Don TV. K-Don TV.
I remember.
Yeah.
So what made you, because I think we have a similar situation where, we're connected to the street, whether you're not directly engulfed in it, but, it's a phone call away. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what made you go from, being I felt like when I was watching the K-Don TV thing, you was kind of in it.
Teeter-totter.
Whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then when I meet you, it's like, obviously I have no responsibility and everything. And we had a career, starting a career. But what was your change? Like, what made you like, yo, I want to go in this direction?
I think my change was Daryl. Yeah. I think he was 20. I found out I was having a kid at 24, and I changed everything. I changed everything. Before that, there was a situation where I scared my father half to death, right? And it was a situation. I'm gonna tell you why. So one of my cousins passed away. I think he was 26 years old. He was messing with this one chick. He didn't know about the other guy, and the guy ends up killing him. He's on the porch waiting for his girl to come out, and the bull comes on the side and ends up shooting him like 7-8 times. Jeez. Kills him. Done. The female ain't even around no more. You understand? She moved on. He dead. He in the ground. Yeah. So there was a situation where I was around, like, when you raised in an environment like that, I'm gonna be honest, like internally I was a sheep. I was like, I didn't want to engage in any, I wasn't that type of guy, even because I seen so much. Yeah. But it's almost like you gotta clothe yourself in wolf's clothing just so people don't mess with you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put this hard facade on for no reason, but you gotta do it in order to protect yourself. So it's kind of like a protective element. But my dumb behind self, because my pride got in the way, I go around the corner, a big drug corner. It was like 40 guys out there. Because I had beef with one dude, I ended up sucker punching him in front of everybody, right? Not thinking. Today, Daryl be like, why you do that? Like, you be left right there, dead, done. But because my pride was in the way, boom, did that or whatever. He was running down to grab me or whatever and try to push me away and try to save his son because he didn't want me to be just like my cousins or whatever. So anyway, my son ends up being born. I joined the Boy Scouts that same year. Now I got to clean up an image. Not saying, again, I wasn't a bad guy,
what you mean.
But got to clean it up.
You tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, tighten up. Now I'm straight laced. Let's make it happen, whatever. And it's been on ever since. But the pandemic is what changed me, like, to go back to my roots. You understand? Like, to be authentically me.
Yes.
You understand?
It showed us a lot. It showed us a lot.
Like, we rocking beards now. Like, it's just...
I don't give a shit.
Listen, it's gotten to that point, man. I just want to be authentically me. All right, so what was your turning point?
Shit, my mom sent me away. And from what I know, my experience and other jobs, especially Philly, like when I first moved to Philly, I realized everybody got their own neighborhood.
Right.
And it's a million fucking neighborhoods in Philadelphia, which is dope.
Yeah, right.
But nobody leaves the neighborhood. And Hartford was the same way for me. Nobody leaves ever, really. And so when I went away, and then I was far enough away where I started seeing just a different life.
Okay.
Seeing people I was in the Midwest, so people
that was in Omaha, right?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah,
so people saying hi, and it's Omaha, for those who don't know, has a tremendous, great black culture and Hispanic culture.
I didn't know
too.
that.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
That's where Warren Buffett is, right?
Yeah, Warren Buffett.
Okay.
And it's a small piece. It's like out of the whole state, it's a small little piece that's just carved out, and it's nothing but blacks in it. Okay. So it was just a different vibe. It was different energy. It was wholesome. It was just different, and I seen something different, and it forced me to like a prime example. I'm in high school. My high school in Connecticut.
Okay.
I was homecoming king, right?
You was homecoming king?
I put the stat out there.
You're a popular guy.
I was homecoming king,
Okay.
right? I moved. My mom sent me to this school out in Nebraska my senior year, and I'm just the jock, and nobody cares.
Okay.
Because the guys and the people who are getting the homecoming kings, they're going to Harvard and they're going, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it wasn't about your attire, it wasn't about popularity, it was about like your academics and what you're doing.
Got you.
And so I kind of felt like, when you're in that environment where everybody's doing good, you don't want to be the asshole just being stupid and being a clown. So now you're like, well, let me match my environment. And so that changed. So then when that started happening, I'm getting college offers and going to school. And then when I got to college, I'm meeting people and
all walks of life,
these ain't the I don't want to say that. I'm trying to say the right term. These ain't the girls that we know in the neighborhood.
Got you.
These are the girls who's like, they got a whole life plan.
Got you. Yeah. Their family comes from wealth. They got a legacy.
And I'm pre-law right now, and I'm going to, and that's, girls in the hood could do that too. But I'm just saying, like, that was my first time meeting young ladies, and they like, I want to be a doctor. And I'm like, really? Like,
wow, you don't want to be no stripper?
Yeah, like,
like, wow.
You want to be
You mean to tell me you ain't thinking about welfare?
You're not thinking about having somebody baby right now when you're 18 and
it's the mindset, man.
It's
the mindset, and that's probably the reason why they confine certain people and certain community groups into certain areas, because they know like minds continue to breed like minds.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you got this repeated cycle, and that's the reason why they stay down.
And I think, like I said, my goal, and probably why, and I don't know if we want to tap into this Boy Scout thing.
Let's do it, man.
But part of the reason why I even got into Boy Scouts was because of Scout Reach. Shout out to Scout Reach, if that still exists.
Okay.
And I appreciated the fact, how we were able to take kids out of the neighborhood and just take them somewhere else and they could just see something different.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
I connected to that. So
I agree 100%. I don't know how I got into Boy Scouts, honestly. No, actually, I do. I was working for an after-school program in Feltonville, Central East Middle School, right? And they said that they needed extra male leaders for extra money. I said, absolutely, I need an extra $100. Like, I think I was getting like $300 every 2 weeks. So I said, yeah, I need to get an extra 100 or two. So I ended up doing that. Jocelyn Diaz was my Scout Reach. She was my Scout Reach director. So she came, she says, I'm bringing somebody from headquarters to come see your program. I said, all right, cool. Okay. So you know the way we get down. I got the kids.
You got to put the show on.
Got to put the show on, right? I put the show on so much that the headquarters guy was like, listen, we got to bring him on board full time. And in my head, I was like, absolutely not. I don't want to wear the uniform, right? Because the uniform scared me, man. I was like, I don't want to wear that goofy looking uniform. I can't even wear a Dickies outfit, right? Now, mind you, shout out to Boy Scouts. I'm not coming at but this is the mindset of people in the city at the time. Yeah. You understand? They don't want to wear the uniform. It's not part of the culture. So that was the thing that kept me away. So anyway, I graduated from college. I was excited about that. I ain't had no job offers at all. None. You hear me? No job offers at all.
Out of college.
The only job offer that I had was from the Boy Scouts. So I said, okay, let's do it. I just found out that Lil Daryl was coming.
We need
I need to start working.
Yeah, we need to get that chicken, for sure.
I was working there for 3 months. They were talking about all these goals I had to attain. You got to raise $35,000. You got to do this. You got to do that. I'm coming from North Philly. I don't know how to work in an environment like this. You understand? I wanted to quit. My mom was like, boy, you quit. you're going to be quitting for the rest of your life. I'm glad I stood
That's a
there.
bar.
Yeah, that was definitely a bar, man. That's a Cassidy joint.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I'm saying? So I ended up a chance to connect with you,
Yeah.
connect with Lance,
Yeah.
connect with so many
We got a
people, and
network.
we traveled. We
Yeah.
went to what was that spot in Colorado? There was a spot in Colorado. That was the first time I saw a shooting star,
I
man.
want to say Highlands, but I know that's not it.
No, that's
I know
not
you're talking about.
I saw a shooting star, man. I never saw a shooting star in my life. Never even saw stars
We
like
did
that
Key
outside.
West.
Key West was a extremely fun time.
We did Atlantic City.
Atlantic City,
Atlantic
yep.
City,
there was a lot of. We did Baltimore. We did
Oh.
Baltimore. Baltimore was a good time. It was a good time, man. You know
We
what I'm saying?
can't talk about that, Daryl. We can't even.
It was a
good
fun time, man. You know what your problem is? You're coked up all the time. You hear me? You hear me? Take them glasses off, man.
You're coked up all the goddamn time.
But all right, let's jump into so we do the Boy Scout thing. You start working somewhere else. You become director of operations, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
you start killing it, right? And mind you, we left out of Boy Scouts on an upward trajectory, right?
Yeah.
So you end up becoming director of operations, and then it becomes a time where the pandemic happens. You on Beach Flip. No,
Yeah,
before that,
that's
you
why-
on Beach
yeah,
Flip.
yeah,
So now you on
HGTV.
reality show.
Yeah.
HGTV.
Yeah.
Was that what sparked the bug for the real estate?
Yeah, so yeah. So me and my girl, well, she's my wife now, girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
We went on HGTV, called Beach Flip. It's on YouTube. Y'all can look it up.
It's on YouTube, Hulu.
It's on all that.
See them on all that.
We didn't win, but it was a competition. It was 4 teams of 2. Long story short,
Okay.
Renovated beach house, and whoever had the most value of the house, kind of you win the challenge. Pretty much, you win like $50,000.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting there, and we picked the house. We ended up getting the worst house. And then at the end, they showed how much it was worth and how much we added
Wow,
to
the
it.
appreciation.
The appreciation of it. And so once you do the difference, and I can't think, but it was probably like 100,000, 200,000 difference.
Okay.
And so at that point in time, I already had the bug, like I could do
Facts.
this back.
Yep.
And at that point in time, too, also you're talking maybe 2014, 2015.
And that was when property values was so low.
was low, and we was going to the auction, and we was getting
Dirt cheap.
$10,000
Dirt cheap.
houses, dirt cheap. So that's really
50,000. You bought 5 houses. Man.
We did a deal. We got 3 at one time for like
3 at one time.
40,000 or something like that. But this was before New York and Baltimore and everybody started coming in and really.
This is before you get an abandoned home for 200,000 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm speechless. I should have went in when I had the chance.
Yeah.
Can't even touch a home now. You can't even
nasty.
touch a fence.
It's nasty. It's a house next door to me I was trying to buy it, but 5 years ago it was literally like 25,000, but the owner didn't want to let it go.
Okay.
And now she decided to let it go, which is smart for her.
Yeah.
But they wanted like 110,000 for it, and it's like
crazy.
it's a piece of shit.
No, I know.
So-
It's totally vacant.
So that started, and then when I came back to work at the Boy Scouts, all the volunteers talking to me about it, but it was a volunteer. Was it Torpy White? Does that sound familiar?
Torpy White, yeah, he was the district chairman in my district at the one time. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Great guy.
Good guy.
So
I think he's an accountant. Isn't he like
he's
an accountant or something? Yeah. I think
he's like in like some. He has a great job. Like
Yep.
whatever he does, he's a career
Yep.
man. But he was telling me, we was just talking. He was like, he loved the show, this and that, and he was saying that his dad bought properties when he was young and like renovate the houses, the properties and stuff like that.
Okay.
And his dad had like 10 properties, so he paid for his whole college. Just all he had to do was come home and work.
Wow.
And so I started thinking like, that's really just that's just your residual, just
It's a legacy
it's
thing.
whatever. It's
Yeah.
a legacy. So then he already got 10, and
Okay.
he started buying more properties, and then he
Torpy?
and putting his kids through college. So they're following this
Crazy.
map of
Right.
And I'm assuming, I don't know, but maybe Torpy dad did, maybe his grandfather. They might have trickled it down.
Yep.
I know from his dad to him, and now he's telling his sons.
And now
And
they
so
all
then
doing
you
it.
got to think this family, and this is just his bloodline.
Yeah.
Right? That's 10, you talking 30, 40, 50 properties by the time you get to your grandkids. and you
And they living off of that.
and they're living off of it. So when you see, you know, yeah, we going to the Hamptons, we going to the Shore, we got a property here, we got that.
That joint open your
It
eyes,
open
man.
your eyes up, and I think, and we'll probably come segue to this too, like the, you know, having the job and the corporate job or the organizations that we constantly running. You don't really think like you don't have time to just sit and chill. So when COVID happened and my organization lost funding, so they laid off pretty much everybody but like 2 people.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, I was kind of relieved. I was like, I ain't got to go to work no more, thank God.
Yeah.
Like everybody else.
Of course.
But the properties that we have, our tenants were still paying rent.
So you still getting that
So
income
we still
coming
got
in.
income coming in. And so I'm chilling like, you know, I could really, it all makes sense now why I did all this. You know what I'm saying? Now I can kind of really eat off the fruits of my labor because, you know,
It makes sense.
it makes sense. So
That's the best way to do it, man. What opened my eyes was the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. When he
It's a
was
good
talking,
book.
that's a real good book. He was talking about how the rich don't work for money, and they were talking about different. I was like 18, 19 years old when I read it, but when I referred back to it, it kind of all made sense.
Yeah.
But with you, what I loved about you is you started acquiring property, and now you traveling, you doing your thing, you know.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like what I'm teaching Daryl too is the whole real estate thing. You know, learn young, so that way, when he's 18 years old, he got a property or he got 2 properties, and he could just build it from there. And the next thing you know, you go from row homes to hotels, and possibly you get yourself a James Prince Island or something.
Yeah,
Man. James Prince got 2 islands.
And I think, to your point, just not installing this traditionalist concept of
Man, I hate that
you
9 to
know,
5 approach.
high
man.
school, go to college. And it's nothing wrong with it because I went to
Nothing wrong
college,
with
get student loans. I got a couple student loans. I still got to pay when I'm hoping Biden get rid of them. But
I don't
you know what
think
I'm saying?
he'll get rid of them,
I
but-
don't know, man. I don't know. That's a whole nother subject.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that offline.
Okay.
Biden is. I'm concerned about him, bro. He looked a little shaky up there. He looked like he got a couple years.
He
and then
interesting
gonna kick the
character.
bucket.
Man. Yeah, interesting character right now.
But like me and my son was having this conversation.
Okay.
He's playing football, but he is really interested in the trade. And so, you know, just having that, like you said, installing that at a young age to be like, when you turn 18, I might have this nest egg for you that I saved. You go buy your property.
Yep.
You could go, you know, be a plumber, electrician. Now you buying properties. Now you subcontracting yourself. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
But just having
Absolutely.
that concept versus like, go to college, you're going to have fun. You're going to graduate with 30, 40,000 in debt. You ain't going to be able to find a job. If you do find a job, you're going to be making
Probably the same amount.
that you owe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much for the
And,
next
and
year.
then you got to deal with, you know, 3-4 years of just getting your ass kicked.
politicking.
Yeah. And so
got
it's like one of them
politic, man.
things like, you know, is that what you really want for your kids?
It gets to a point too, and I get it. Listen, you got to be kind to everybody. You got to treat people the way you want to be treated. But sometimes, especially when you in corporate, there's a lot of politicking. There's a lot of trying to you're out here trying to gain favoritism in order to get a good review, to get a promotion, to get a raise, and you got to continue to do so. And then you change the tone of your voice, so you got to laugh at jokes that ain't even funny. And you get tired of that. I've been there plenty of times. Let's talk. You know what? While we there,
I used to get you about that.
yeah,
Tap dancing.
yeah, tap dance. Listen. You play music, I'm a dance. I got kids to feed, right? At that point. But look, this is what happens when you naive, you young.
You don't know no better.
You don't know any better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It gets to a point now where I'm like, I'm more in tune with what's going on, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like doing it. It's called maturity, man.
Nah.
Let's talk about that time where we was at that Seth Williams event, right? Let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about
Shout out to Seth.
Shout out to Seth. I'm gonna tell y'all something, right? I knew a lot of people in the city, right? Because that's one thing that the Boy Scouts do, right or wrong. They make you out there. You go out there and network, and you start building.
Let me just say this. That not before you go. Like shout out to the Boy Scouts. Like
facts.
They taught us how to be professionals. They taught us how to network. We had to convince people to do stuff for free and give us their money.
Yep.
Think about it. We got volunteers that's doing stuff
That's
for free.
a skill.
And they giving us money. You know what I'm saying?
That's a skill.
So the sales part, the leadership part, the convincing people, the management, learn so much. Yep. So the experience is cool. The people there, shaky. Dice game for sure. It's shaky.
Facts.
and just the structure is bullshit. But
Right.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. So we start building a network, right, in the city, right? Because they teach us we got to be the mayor in the city, right? We have to learn each and everybody, who's connected to
The
who and build
CEO
it.
of your district.
You got to be there. You go.
Yeah,
I'm saying
I
the
remember
mayor.
that. Yeah, I remember
CEO
that.
of your district.
That too. Yeah,
CEO of your district, right?
Yeah.
So we was going to all the lavish parties, Pyramid Club.
We did.
Union League.
We ate good.
We ate
drank
good, man. We
did.
ate good. We drank good.
Rubbing
we met a lot
elbows
of
with
good
people we probably shouldn't have met if we was working anywhere else.
Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, how do I get around all these millionaires, sometimes billionaires that was around us, and it got to a point where it's like, wow, how do you do it? But anyway, we go to this thing called, it's a fundraiser, right? It's a fundraiser. And it was a good time, man. And so in my head, I felt as though, well, I've been around this guy quite a few times.
You met with him a few times.
I met with him a few times. Very good guy.
Yeah.
To me at the time. Still probably a good guy. So I'm like, let me showboat, let me show off real quick, right? So I decided to bring Mahdi Alston to the party. And I said, you know what,
party,
man?
By the way.
Great party.
Great party.
It was a beautiful party. I said, you know what? Mahdi, I want to introduce you to somebody.
Yeah,
right?
You said it like that. I'm going to introduce you.
I'm going to introduce you to somebody.
Watch this.
Right? Yeah, watch this. Oh, we was watching. Okay? I go up to him. I tap him on the shoulder. I said, what's up, Seth, man? I want to introduce you to somebody. He's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Turn around.
He kept turning back. He ain't even look at you, I would think. Yeah, you're like, what's up, man? What's up, man? Anyways, like I was saying.
Like, you gonna go ahead and do me like that, man? We was cool. We was cool the past 3, 4 parties. You gonna do that to me in front of my mans like that, man?
Completely ignored you, bro. It was good. I loved it. I loved it, bro. I loved it.
Yo,
because you was really flexing, like, yeah, I'm. Because and
it was a flex.
You was moving in the city though.
I was moving.
Because remember we was in the downtown office, right?
Oh, downtown office was definitely
phenomenal.
Good. It was phenomenal, man.
And so when we would have like
the Scout Reach meetings.
The
committee
you had
meetings.
Everybody in the city.
I had everybody there.
So I'm like, you was on fire.
Yeah.
So I would never question whether or not you was
Thank
cool
you,
with
brother.
him
Well, at least you give me that.
But
man. I appreciate
when you
man.
was like, yo, man, this is my guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Just
I mean, we went through a few parties together. I thought he was my. I mean, we was talking, we was busting up. Like, go ahead, man. Finish
funniest thing ever.
That was the ultimate
he barely
curve.
even touched shit. He curved you bad.
That was the ultimate curve.
He Hollywooded you really bad. Just
You know what I felt like, man? I felt like that Martin episode when he went to the Darnell Hill show. That's exactly what I felt like.
Darnell Hill.
I said, how you going? I can eat the catfish, man. You go over there to Hollywood.
Catfish are delicious.
Yeah, curved the nonsense out of me, man. I said, I will never be hype on nobody like that again, man. There's no point, man.
But that's a learning experience.
It was definitely a learning experience,
because it kind of let me know, too, like, we not even close to where we should be yet.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
like, and when you start looking around the room, I was like, oh, we not. Like, they rocking with us because of Boy Scouts, but we are not, like...
If the Boy Scouts was out of that, we'd be regular people that shouldn't even be in that room.
Yeah.
Facts.
That's when I was like, oh, I got more work to do.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. I was like, okay, I would never get curved like that again.
Yeah. It was funny. It was funny.
Oh, it was hilarious.
You laughed it off too.
Oh, I did. It was definitely the bun of the joke of every time we got together. It was a good time, man.
Yeah,
that's one thing I don't have no problem making fun of myself.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
That's why I like being around you, brother. Because you just.
All right. So let's jump into your traveling experience, right? So you've been traveling. Every time I call you, I'm like, listen. We got to set up this podcast. We got to do a few episodes together. He was like, all right, brother, I'll let you know in another 2 weeks. I'm in California right now. Or I'm on your Instagram and you in Texas. Or you back at Connecticut. Or you in New York. Or you in Paris. And you about to go to London next week. Explain that, man.
I'm going to
Explain
London,
it. You mind give me some water, man?
You know, man. Brother. Yeah, absolutely, brother. Let me get you some water.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man.
Doscinco. Shout out to Doscinco. Doscinco and little,
so explain,
little Doscinco.
Explain this whole London trip, Amsterdam, your whole traveling.
You know what, man?
Explain that.
I started traveling probably like 20. First of all, I give credit to my wife because I didn't even have a passport when I met her.
Wow.
And she been traveling since she was a kid. So
okay.
So the judgment that she had on me was like, you don't got a passport? Like, how you... You know, and it really, so I was like, all right, cool. And so, you know, I started traveling with her more and then started traveling on my own. But it's a big world, man, and there's so many cultures and there's so many good experiences and memories. And for me, like when my mother passed, I was just like, yo, this life is short, man.
Yeah.
It's short. And it's cliche. Everybody say that.
No,
right?
it's true when it hits home.
Yeah.
When it hits home. Yeah.
And so all the things I'm like, man, I should have went or I could have went, or even this experience now, like the fact that I'm here with you, brother, this is just a memory. You know what I'm saying? That I'm just collecting. And I'm like, me and Daryl,
oh, man, listen,
we had a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But it's like one of these things where I don't want to, and I know you know how it is, but we'd be like, man, I'm busy, or I got this going on, or I got that going on, or whatever. So now it's like, I'm going to tell you, I'm traveling, but when I come back, Daryl, we good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
you did that. Hey, man, look, I got an award. I got a diamond award. They honored me like, you know.
You're flexing a little bit.
It's a light flex, man. It's a light flex.
Everybody don't got diamond awards, bro. But go ahead.
Everybody ain't got diamond awards, but I called you and I said I wanted, you know, I said, if you available, I would love to have you as my guest. And you said, brother, I'm traveling. You changed your entire schedule for me to be there, man.
I did.
And Lance made sure he told me. He said, you know, he changed your schedule for you. You know, he changed for it.
Yeah, I did.
I said, for real? I said, I didn't know he was on his. He was like, yeah, he's supposed to be in Connecticut right now with his wife.
Yeah.
I said, wow, completely honored, man. Because not too many people would do that, man.
Well, a part of it is, again, what we've been through, how we've grown. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember those days in the Valley Forge office, in the downtown office.
Field staff meetings and stuff.
We was like, what the fuck are we doing here?
I remember you walked out of the meeting one time, man.
So you know the struggle that where we came from.
Right.
You know, on the grind, really just trying to like survive, waiting for that raise to hit and all of that, to be like people appreciating who you are, your skill level, your intellect, and everything that you have to offer. I think that's dope. And so,
thank you, bro.
If you invite me, I'm gonna just show up, bro.
I appreciate you.
Because I never forget those days when we was just barely making it.
Yeah. And when I say barely making it, brother, I remember when I first started the Boy Scouts, I was trying to raise. I was supporting a family of 3 at the time on a $35,000 salary in a 1-bedroom apartment. At the time, it was a struggle.
They was paying
and we had to work from 7 in the morning sometimes to
10
o'clock
days. 12-hour days. They barely paying us. I think I might have been started out like 45.
Yeah.
And I look at that now like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But we had to figure it out.
Yeah.
I remember I don't know if he's going somewhere, and I'm getting on, or maybe it might have been next morning or something.
Okay.
But I'm getting on the Pennsylvania Turnpike with an Easy Pass.
Okay.
And Daryl was like, I ain't got no Easy Pass. I said, what you mean you don't got no Easy Pass? He said, I'm not giving them $35 for nothing.
Right.
So you would come all the way from the Northeast, go all the way down through downtown and go back up
all day
to Valley Forge. Yeah. I said, yo, that's commitment. So now you getting up an extra hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know
just to not pay the $35 a month. Because I ain't have it.
He was like, hey, we ain't got it.
We ain't got it, brother. I was living off credit for years. That was a good thing.
No, you did. You did.
I want you.
Because I was like, I ain't got no credit cards, man. I ain't doing
that.
that. Then I was like, nah, you never know, you might need it. You know what I'm
absolutely.
But I say all that to say that to see, you know, your grind from that to where you are now.
Thank you, bro.
You know, I ain't gonna say it on the podcast, but when you might throw me your new salary now, I'm like, yo, listen, man. Like,
I appreciate you, bro. That excited me, man.
You're doing all right.
Yeah,
you're doing all right, Daryl. You're doing okay, man. So
I was
you're actually doing great.
I was a little confused at that point, man. I was like,
you like for me?
Yeah, because the thing is, look. I remember one time, right? I had a conversation with Lisette Gonzalez, also a good friend, right? And I remember I was pitching her on a job. I said, listen, there's this job opportunity, would love, to bring, whoever you can recommend. I said, if you looking for something, like, let me know or whatever. And she was, all right, cool. How much they paying? I said, they paying $50,000. She was like, I don't remember last time I made $50,000. Because that was a boss flex. Because at that time, I'm like, $50,000 is the world for them. You understand? I'm like, yo, that's a lot of money. Mind you, that's a lot of, I look at it now, I'm like, yo, that ain't
50,000. I can't do nothing with that.
That especially
No
this day and age.
disrespect
And
to
there's no
nobody. Let me say
listen,
that.
Listen, it's
Because
no
I'm not
listen. I
snooty.
don't want y'all looking at us like
Yeah,
we all
please.
high sedity. Not at all.
Nah.
And I'm glad I used that slang. I used it correctly.
Yeah, you did.
Thank you.
Sedity.
I'm glad I used it correctly. But only reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of times our mindset is so menial and we don't never see ourselves elevating and we assume that right there is all we got and that's it. And next thing you know, we die at that point.
Yep.
We see things totally different now because we know there's enough money out there. There's no way in the world that the top 10 people in this world are fully rich, got $200+ billion, and you can't accelerate yourself to make a certain amount that you want to make.
And it's enough for everybody. And to your point, you know, you don't have to stay, because even maybe, again, you think about the raise and all this
Right.
other stuff. This is your main job, so you know, you start doing the math. If I'm making 50,000, I get a 3% raise, man. I might get to be like 52. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
versus saying, yo, what I have to offer, I really deserve six figures. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Deserve a six-figure job. I need to push for that. That needs to be my goal. I'm shooting for that.
Yep.
And so, again, I'm not dissing 50,000 because that's,
It was good at that time.
it's good at that time.
Right.
But also, the trade-off wasn't worth it. You know,
Yeah, it was a
you
lot
paid
of
me
long
50,000, but I'm working 6 days a week. You know, 12-hour days, slanging popcorn or camp cards or driving to
camp.
Resica Falls
Going to
or
camp.
you know what I'm saying? I'm in the slums, in neighborhoods, all types of night, which I'm not saying I was concerned, but just the fact of, you know, anything
That
could
you gotta
happen.
do that.
I got to do
Right,
it. So,
right, yeah.
you know, is that worth the 50,000? Nah, because at that point, I'm really probably only making $8 an hour as much as I'm putting
Yeah.
in. You know what
and,
I mean?
And you know
Nothing
what's
wrong
the-
with $8 an hour.
There's nothing wrong with it.
You know what I'm saying?
There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm gonna
Don't
tell you this
cancel
right
culture
now.
me, because I ain't got.
You can't buy a V-Bucks card with $8. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Believe me, I know. But I am gonna say this, man. I am gonna say this, that a lot of times we look at our gross, and when tax season comes around, you really see how much you really
Yeah.
make. And you really start to see that 50,000 is really 24.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then you look at 24,000, it's like, yo, that's crazy. I'm
And
making peanuts
I'm
right
making
now.
peanuts.
And I swore I was making money. You know, so it's just a different mindset.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all.
yeah.
So let's go back to your traveling though, right?
Yeah.
So you traveling, you traveling around the world, you're experiencing different cultures. What's the most memorable place you've been and why? I know you mentioned Paris.
Paris was dope.
Okay.
Paris is a lover spot.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Paris is sexy. Fashion, the food is phenomenal.
Okay.
Escargot was really good there.
Where's
I don't even
escargot
like
at?
talking like this because now
I mean, listen,
it sounds like
what-
I'm like, oh man.
Something you don't realize. Whoever's watching this will be inspired.
Okay,
you're
fair enough.
gonna have the ones that'll be like, man, look at him talk, and then you're gonna have the ones that be like, yo, I'm trying to do that. Like I'm trying to go there. Where's escargot at? Because I would like to know.
So no, escargot is snail. It's dripped.
Oh,
in
it's a snail. It's not a
snail.
space.
It's a food.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
it's
thought that was a
snail,
country or
so it's
something.
in like a garlic butter. It's really good.
Okay.
It's the best I've ever had in Paris.
And you had that in
they drink a lot
Paris?
of champagne, but it's good for lovers. Though you had it in Paris. It's
Got
good for
you.
lovers.
It's
so.
a good aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's all I need to know. Escargot.
So
I
I
thought
would
that was
say,
a country.
I would say my.
I thought it was a country. You said I love escargot. I said, well, where's that at? I didn't know that was a snail
I'm just
dipped in
talking about
garlic.
Paris.
I feel you.
So champagne is good in Paris too. I'll say it like this, for you, in a lover space, I would go to Paris.
Okay.
It's really romantic.
All right, cool.
Dubai was dope.
Dubai's definitely on the
Dubai
bucket
was
list.
dope. I was part of that group of people who it was like on Christmas Day they had tickets to Dubai for like $250.
Are you
It was like
serious?
a glitch in the computer. This was probably like 2015, 16, something like that.
Okay.
So it was 1 million black people that went to Dubai that day. But it was
Wow.
dope. It was dope. Probably my favorite guys trip is going to Colombia.
Now, were you in like where the cartels are?
No, we didn't go there. We went
Okay.
to Cartagena.
Okay.
So that was cool. That was a guy. It was a bachelor party, so that was fun.
Got you.
That's all I'll say about that. And so that's really hard to say, but I guess most impactful, I would probably say Dubai because it was a long flight.
Okay.
But the culture there was crazy because you had a mix of like they're trying to be Americanized.
Okay.
They're building all these buildings that nobody's in. It's just buildings so they want to look like a big city. It's
serious?
weird. Yeah, they got skyscrapers.
So
that's
they
just
just
sitting there.
building just for the sake of building
Just
right
building
now,
it.
just to
And
look like something.
I was told they got hopes of like people bringing businesses there,
Right.
but it's like,
Wow.
and I think they are transitioning to that too. But
Okay.
at that point in time, they was just building stuff.
And that's a
It was
whole
like,
different. That's a whole different level of money
Yeah,
out there, huh?
yeah.
Like the typical cars, like a Lamborghini.
Yeah. Lamborghinis.
That's like the Toyota Camry over there.
Lamborghinis. You'll see a lot of those. I actually got into a altercation with a guy because
You
he thought I
serious?
was touching his Lamborghini. Yeah, and
But you was next to it taking a picture.
Nah.
I'd have took the picture.
Somebody else apparently had touched the car, did something to the car.
Okay.
And they walked off, and I walked by.
No way.
Yeah, so it was one of those things. Yeah.
So it was like wrong place, wrong time
Wrong place, wrong
situation.
time. Yeah.
Wow.
But it was cool. Dubai's dope. I'm trying to think. Costa Rica is chill.
Okay.
DR, Puerto Rico. I went to Puerto Rico. Bro.
Puerto Rico's nice. Yeah, I took the kids. We took the
Yeah.
kids last year, right? We took the kids. Yeah, last year.
I completely
we had a
just
good time.
And I didn't even realize it was so easy to get there.
Oh, very
like, it's
easy.
part of the
Yep. Did
country.
you do the rainforest?
Did we do the rainforest?
It's a rainforest. It's where you can
No,
you
we
jump
didn't.
into the waterfalls.
Because
all
we
that stuff.
went during. It was like it was September of 2020 maybe.
Okay.
So COVID was still kind of shaky. So we
The
we
best
stayed
time
in
to
like
travel
old
was
Puerto
doing
Rico.
that. Yeah.
Puerto Rico?
Old San Juan.
Old San Juan.
Old San
Puerto Rico,
Juan.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Old San Juan.
Yeah.
Tulum though. Tulum.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Well, before you jump there, I just want to let you know. In July, I'm taking a family vacation. We're going to Cancun, Mexico. Which is, I'm gonna tell you the reason why we're going to hit that now. I just want to take an Instagram shot in the Mayan ruins, so I could say smoking Cubans on the boat, dock at Tulum just to smoke. That's it. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do.
Hey, listen, man.
I'm going there specifically for
Tulum.
that.
We did the same thing. So we went to Cancun. We stayed in Cancun for like 2 days. And then
Okay.
we drove. It's an easy drive. It's a straight
Okay.
shot. It's just going
Yeah, I heard.
south.
I saw. It's like an hour and a half type
It's
drive.
like an hour drive,
Right,
bro. But
okay.
it is
Beautiful.
like
Okay.
again, my wife, she's traveled a lot, and it's a lot of places where she like, oh, I had fun. She didn't want to leave. She was like, can we stay like a couple extra days? Because she
Wow.
it's dope.
So Tulum is like that.
Tulum is dope. It's
Why
dope.
would you say Tulum? I mean, I heard great things about Tulum. What is it to you?
The
that made
vibe, the energy, everything's chill. They have a jungle. Well, I guess they consider it. So they have like the in town was more like a jungle.
Okay.
So we stayed at a resort that was like in the forest kind of thing.
Nice.
You said rainforest, what I thought it was.
Yeah.
So we stayed we did that for 2 days, and then we stayed by the beach in another resort. So it's
Wow.
like they got two different. It reminds me of like.
They got the Mayan pyramids
Yeah,
there
we
too,
went to
right?
the pyramids.
Yeah, did. Okay.
We went to the underground cove things. We get in the cold water, and I didn't. That was crazy, but it was cool. But it reminds me of like a Miami, but like a mature, not so fast paced.
Okay.
Food is good. Everybody
Man,
chill.
I can't wait to go. Man.
You could tap into a couple parties.
We're going to Tulum. You hear me? He don't even realize what he's doing right now. He don't even realize the places he's about to go.
But it's important that he knows
It
his
is.
dad.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I love that. Now, talking about travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you think about time traveling? Totally sidebarred the
Took a
situation.
left.
Do you think it's obtainable, or do you think it is? Yesterday, I just figured, let me just throw that into the podcast. I think it's a legitimate question, man. What you
know
think?
what, man? So many different answers to that. I think it is attainable because they literally doing everything. People, you got scientists that's just trying stuff.
Right.
Sometimes I wonder, like Warren Buffett, for example, since you mentioned him, I wonder how he figures all this stuff out. And I know he's probably skilled, but sometimes I'm like, did he
Brain's wired different.
Yeah. Or did he just go back and time travel something and just know? Because if I go back, I'm investing in everything possible. And I'm going to be the richest man on the planet. You know what I mean?
But you would think you would time travel with purpose.
Some people might just time travel. Or do you time travel to just change, things in your life?
But mind you, if you change one thing, it's going to change something else. So there's a movie you ever saw, It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah.
You
But
change one little thing.
But would you do that, though?
Well, I'm going to tell you this, right? I think time travel is not far-fetched because my thing is, right, let's just look at the telephone, right? The telephone, this is a documentary I saw. this guy was developing the telephone back in the 18-something, and he was talking about how he was working on this device to hear voices on the other side. They thought he was crazy, and they put him in an insane asylum. They didn't realize he was inventing the telephone, right?
Yeah.
So you talk about time travel nowadays, you like, yo, you crazy. That ain't never gonna happen. But think about it. They transmitting so many things from all different. I believe it's, if I can go back into time, I think I would go back to my childhood. But I would want to see my younger self. You hear me?
I was just watching that movie on Netflix.
Is that the project, the Adam Project?
Yeah, Adam Project.
Yes.
That had me thinking too. Like if I see my 12-year-old self,
I want to see
like,
myself again, man. I want to see myself again, and I want to just be his big brother. You know why? Because to give him some advice that will allow him to see that it's better.
I think that's what I struggle with. I mean, everything happened for a reason.
Right.
Blessed. My story is the way it is, right? But I don't know. Sometimes I'd be like, bro, maybe you shouldn't go over there. Maybe you shouldn't. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think I want to go back because I can see people. See, okay, the way I grew up, and I'm pretty sure you can say the same thing. It's not the way these kids are growing up.
No,
man. These kids are growing up. The way they interact is they interact through the Oculus. They interact through Fortnite. They talk to each other that way.
Social media, telephone, text.
I want to go back. I want to go back to when we was riding bikes together, when we was playing in the pump, the fire hydrant. You know, back in the time when there was no cell phones. You know, and I could see my old relatives when the families used to get together back in the day. I don't know how your family is. My family don't get together at all. At all nowadays. Everybody lives their separate lives. They keep it the way it is. But I would love to go back to that time where, on a Friday, you watching TGI, TGI Fridays. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? Family Matters. Come on, brother. Come on, man.
Family Matters.
You hear me? Like, that was the time.
That was good times.
If you missed the show, you just missed the show.
You missed it.
You can't go back.
You missed it. You used to have to watch the TV guide.
TV, yes.
And just wait until you get to the channel to see what time something come on. You're waiting for like 5 minutes trying to.
If there was a good movie, and you forgot and you didn't catch the name of the movie, you probably lost it forever.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah,
that's a fact. Now you could just download and stream stuff. And I'm not mad at that, though.
I'm not mad at that.
I mean, we made adjustments.
We did. I do miss going to Blockbuster, making it a Blockbuster night.
I think somebody's trying to bring it back. I heard somebody bought it.
Probably gonna be more for Instagram, if anything. People,
don't get me wrong. I want to say I heard maybe Netflix or somebody's trying to buy Blockbuster.
And then install these retail stops again.
Yeah, I don't know.
Try to bring back that nostalgia.
Yeah, I don't know if it went anywhere, but I did hear.
Okay.
But Blockbuster was big. Yeah,
it was a big time.
Rewind your tapes.
Rewinding tapes.
Rewind them tapes, you get your fee.
Yeah, that's it. And the thing is, you get the popcorn with it, with the gummy bears. And if you was late, you got to pay a fee for that.
You got to pay that fee.
It was a good time. But if you can time travel back, you would. What time period would you time travel to?
For personally or just for
just period. There's a specific time where you like, yo, I would love to like live in that era just to see, how it was. I'm gonna start it off, right?
Go ahead.
I think I want to go back to the 1920s, the Roaring 20s, and the only reason why I say that is because I just want to dress up, man. I already got the hairstyle. I think I'm perfect for it right now, man. To go back there, dress up in your Art Deco type of attire, Great Gatsby type of look, do my thing there, and then come back. That's it. I just want to go to a few parties. That's it. Because jazz back in the day was the hip hop.
Yeah.
That was a form of hip hop.
It would have to be late 60s, early 70s.
Okay. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because you got to remember, man, people of colors, but specifically African Americans, that's when we really became unified, I feel. I mean, before that, like, we got our leaders, in the 50s and everything they went through, but I think I feel like that's when we started deciding we ain't gonna take no more shit, and we gonna strike if we need to, and we not.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense because I know I said the 1920s, and I'm saying 1920s for the sake that it was the Roaring 20s. It was people were just out there having fun, jazz, the way they were dressing and everything. So it was more from that. But now that I think about it, that wasn't even a good time for people of color, period.
Nah.
Right? That time, even if you go further back, the slave day, that goes back to what, the 1600s. So it's like, what time period would it be? It would have to be the 1960s moving forward.
I'm telling you, but a reflection of our country is, and I don't want to get all.
No, we ain't got to dive into it.
I'm
But
just saying,
sometimes you can dip your toe.
You got to think with just a look like light dip. You got to think, man. You could if you ask any person of color, but specifically I speak for myself as a black person, as a black man, at what period of time when I want to time travel to, like we talk off camera, like anytime I'm still going to be the same, oppressed,
Yep.
Racially profiled, a black man got shot 2 days ago.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So pick any decade where we are still not in a bad space, mistreated in this country.
Yeah.
So
makes
that's
sense.
why I picked the 60s and 70s, because that's when it was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
We're going to come together. We're going to bear arms. Y'all want to shoot us, we're going to shoot y'all.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that's the right thing to do.
Right,
but I'm
right.
saying that's when
We had enough.
we got past the, we're going to march and y'all going to beat us and sick your dogs on us. No, we going to shoot your dog if your dog can bite me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what I feel like is important. But probably that, or just for me personally, probably I'll go back to like 1990, because that was just my hip hop. When I just was like,
that was the era.
That was just good music, and it's good music now. But that's when I really was introduced to just.
I'm gonna be honest, man.
92 Nas Illmatic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
yeah.
So
I was a big Tupac fan. I love Tupac, man.
I
appreciate you, man. I love Tupac, man. And the thing is, it was the era during like it was video games, Nintendo 64, GoldenEye,
Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis.
Know. Lil Durk,
he ain't got a clue.
You don't even know.
He got a clue.
Got to blow the cartridge in the Nintendo, man.
I just bought him. Listen, man, before we cut this show, man, I just bought him a PlayStation 5 a few months ago, right? I bought them 4 controllers. Why did I even do that? You know why I bought them? I'm thinking that they can play, 4 people, right? No, they play online with other people. I'm like, it makes no sense, right? Whereas with us,
he don't get it.
Whereas with us, 4 controllers on the Nintendo 64, we going to war on Mario Kart.
Yeah, I Mario Kart. I've literally seen fights break out off of bets on Mario Kart, like brawls, because we was passionate about it. But they're passionate about it in a different way, but they just got more technology.
Yeah. It's a different
Sonic the Hedgehog. When I seen they was making a movie, or I didn't even see the first one, but the second one is coming out. I was like, oh shit, I'm old.
You gotta see part 1. Part 1's pretty good.
I heard it's good.
Yeah, part 1's pretty good. I haven't seen part 2 yet, but it's kind of like. It was a good time, man. That was a good era, man. I remember I played Mortal Kombat. I did the fatality with Scorpion. And I said, Ma, I set him on fire. She thought I set somebody on fire. She thought I really did something in the room. She came upstairs, paranoid. I still remember that, man. Good times,
Mortal
man.
Kombat was a game.
Sleepovers, brother. Sleepovers. Man, they have no concept of that.
They don't even sleep over, I don't think, do they?
No, I can't.
Well, they got FaceTime.
I can't. I'm going to tell you why I can't, man. We live in an era, and I'm pretty sure that was an era back then, but we live in an era nowadays where it's like you really can't do too much trust in the people.
Yeah.
You can't leave your kids unattended. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Or maybe we just paranoid.
Nah, man.
Maybe we just paranoid, man.
You don't trust nobody. It's I don't even want to get in this. It's a lot of fluidity with a lot of things at this point in time.
Oh, yeah.
You see
Absolutely.
a lot of perverts and people. It's a lot going on,
man.
And some stuff is accepted, and some stuff is like.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I was driving through Philly. I seen like 5 dudes taking stuff.
Did they have the man purse, or what is it?
Oh, I guess we calling a man purse now.
I don't know.
My man had a whole Louis Vuitton bag. I'm like, oh, that's the joint that my girl be wearing, like and he taking out his wallet out of his purse.
Now, man.
It's the style now.
I'll knock it, but it ain't my thing.
I'm knocking it. I'm confused.
It's not my thing.
Because now we at the club, and now you holding us up because they gotta check your purse now. You too busy competing with the woman.
Daryl, you gotta.
Yeah. And I get it, it's fashion. But maybe I'm
tell
a little
your dad
the
merces are in right now.
That's what they calling them merces.
I don't know. I'm assuming they call them merces.
Man, listen, man. Anyway, listen, brother. We ain't got too much memory left, okay? So I got to cut this short.
Hey, listen, man. It was a good time.
But it was a good time. Listen, I appreciate you, brother. It's always a pleasure.
I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you, man.
This is dope.
Thank you, man.
I ain't see Lil Daryl
since he was
10
like 2,
years,
right?
So this is dope because he's talking like he has a career set and everything.
Man, my man doing
Lil
this
Daryl
thing,
for president, and
appreciate
it, man.
Hey, man, listen, man. We got planes to catch. We ain't got time for the nonsense.
Talk to